Time for the Pucking Around podcast. Puck around and find out. Hey there, everybody. It's playoff time. We've been gone for a couple of weeks, but we're back to do some playoff talk. So without wasting too much time and your attention spans, tonight we're going to talk about our brackets. We did a bracket challenge, and we're going to talk about our brackets for a little bit. And then basically we're just going to talk about the series that are going on. There's 8 of them. Eight going on right now. Although one
to figure out how to count to 8.
Math is hard.
Listen, I'm math challenge. One ended last night, but we're going to talk about them one at a time, and we'll do a couple of overtime questions, and that's what's in store for tonight. I'll introduce who is here with me. We got the Boston 3 up in the corner. There is Cam. Say hi, Cam.
Whoop whoop. Let's not blow this. For the love of fucking God, let's not blow this.
Let's not blow this.
Oh my God, I cannot. I will not live.
He's supposed to shut up. In the other corner is Alex. Say hi, Alex.
The guy to my right hates Matvey Michkov. And he left.
He's allowed. On the bottom, to that side of me, is Matt. That's the Boston 3. And then up in the middle there, sandwiched in between the two, it's called an American Oreo. That's Harry.
Hi, everybody.
An American Oreo?
Oh, you guys are American?
Rick, how long did it take you to think of that one? So about one.
Buddy, we're 3 creams. What do you mean, dude?
3 cream. Okay, we're not going there.
Like that's it. It's
no, Rick, you're gonna have to.
It's like coffee mate, sugar, and half. Like that's what we got here.
It's 2 whites between a red. So I mean,
that's it. What flavored cherry? It's a cherry American Oreo. There you go. All right.
We'll call that a Red Wing.
That's an inside joke, and we're not going to explain it. So, what we're going to do here tonight?
Everybody got my joke.
What we're going to do here tonight is we're going to go over our brackets, and see if anybody's bracket is broken yet. I have a feeling
Alex.
mine will be soon.
Well,
Everyone's got their brackets up.
Them to go far.
We unfortunately can't show you the bracket on screen, but we'll go over them. Who wants to go over their bracket first?
Let's start with Alex because he's a loser already. Didn't take him long.
I picked Extreme Chaos, and before I start, I only picked Washington to beat the Rangers just for the chaos element. In no way, shape, or form did I think Washington was a better
an excuse
team.
Now.
It's an excuse. Then why would
you
pick it?
After the fact.
I wrote it on Twitter. I wrote it on Twitter. I have that as a backup.
It's after the fact. Never mind. Listen, instead of everybody going over their whole bracket, let's do first. We'll go through all our the first series, and we'll go like that. Everybody. How's that?
First series? Yeah, that's fine.
Starting with Alex, and then we'll do it so counterclockwise. Alex, Harry, Cam, me, Matt.
All right, so I had Dallas beating Vegas in 6 to start in the West Conference. As you can see by my name right there, Dallas in 6. Vegas is up 2-1 right now. I still think Dallas is going to come back and win that. I'm going to stick with my gut. I've had Dallas to win the Cup since day 1. They're going to pull that shit off. Dallas in 6. They're winning the next 3. Not full reverse sweep, but fuck you, Vegas team, and your cap manipulating douchebags.
Right.
No.
I agree with that. Now, I dare say we all probably have Dallas, except for one.
Gee,
and I
wonder
don't know
who.
if you can tell which one didn't pick Dallas and took Vegas.
I don't know.
If you
guys listening on Spotify wouldn't be able to tell. In case you guys couldn't tell, Matt is all decked out in VGK attire, you freaking cheating loser.
Yeah, so it's obviously a
loser.
That's my number 2 team.
Yeah.
I have Dallas. I got Dallas.
How many games?
Shit, I don't know. I think I had Dallas in 6. I had
Dallas in 6.
Wow, that's the first thing me and Cam have agreed on since
Shut the fuck up.
Bin episode.
Harry, how about you? Did you do a bracket? I don't know. Did you do it?
I did. I did a bracket for my challenge. Unfortunately, I wasn't available to do the one for the channel. I had Vegas in 7. My man.
God.
I like Dallas. I just don't believe in them this year. I think that they're a great team. They're going to be better next year, though. I think this is the the kind of like I guess you could say Tampa in 2015 to an extent. They get knocked out kind of early, even though Tampa went to the Cup Finals. But they get knocked out early, and then they're better next year. I guess Tampa in 2019 is a better example. But I think they're a good team.
Had the wins record that year, though. I don't know if it's that big of a comparison.
Well, I'd say they're similar in the case of they're heavy favorites, and they just get knocked out earlier, and the next year they're much better. That's how I see it.
You could have just said Boston of last year.
Now? Is it Cam's turn, or did he already say?
I already said I picked Dallas in 6.
Oh, that's right. I took Dallas in 7.
Oh, Dallas.
Why?
7.
Why? Because I'm not taking a team that cheats. At least it seems like it. If you talk to the people in the know more than we are, I heard some explanations, and is he cheating? Maybe, maybe not, but it sure as hell looks like it. And I wouldn't take Vegas.
No, I mean it definitely doesn't. When you look at it, like you're just at face value, it definitely looks really fishy. I'll say this though: like a ruptured spleen is a very serious injury, and it sounds like that is what happened to Mark Stone. So he's all right.
He had not shredded.
He just happened to be
lacerated.
Yeah, Bruce Cassidy punched his spleen with freaking brass knuckles.
He had a lacerated spleen.
Mark, we need you to take one for the team. It's gonna hurt, but it'll be fine.
All right, so we know Matt took Vegas.
I did. I took Vegas in 7, and it's not because they're the other team I cheer for, but I honestly think their experience, obviously coming off the Cup win, I think just gets them ahead of Dallas. That's why I have it going 7. I think Dallas is a good team. I don't know if they're a good match for Vegas, and that experience they have already coming off a Cup win, and obviously the additions of Hurdle and Noah Hannafin.
Yeah,
Mark Stone coming back from injury. It's a lot.
It wasn't
a lot for Dallas to overcome.
It wasn't a lacerated spleen. It was a stacked spleen because it stacked the team, man.
Me and Rick actually talked about this during the watch party for game, 4?
Yeah. Yeah.
But anyway, next series. Winnipeg and Colorado. This one I'm kind of embarrassed to talk about because I had Winnipeg in 6, and that is loser.
Loser.
And that's I don't think Winnipeg's coming back in this. I do still have confidence in Dallas. I think Hellebuck just does not look like Hellebuck in that series, and Colorado has been able to score at will on them. I got Colorado winning 6.
I watched that game yesterday. I watched it. They couldn't score, and then Hellebuck just he couldn't. Yeah, he let them down. So if they get better goaltending and they could find some offense, they might have a chance.
It's kind of weird. That 7-0 Winnipeg dicking on Colorado to end the regular season may have been the best thing that happened to Colorado because it lit a fire under their eyes.
Probably. That's probably right.
Oh, yeah.
What's everyone else got?
Harry, who you got?
I'm actually priding myself on this if it does end because I had Colorado in 5. I had that series going 5. I was not a believer of the Jets at all. I thought that their defense was horrible. I like Hellebuck. I didn't expect them to be this bad in the playoffs. I thought it was going to be their offense more so to let them down, but it's been both that and Hellebuck. Avs in 5, they're just a much better team all around.
Yep. Cam.
Avalanche. Easy. No question.
How many games?
I think I had them in 5.
We got no proof.
No, I had them in 6.
Well, there you go.
Yeah. I thought Winnipeg was going to steal 2 from them. Yeah, please. That was easy. That was an easy one. Yeah, and unfortunately, Alex, in every contest, there must be a loser, and you are the loser.
Oh, we got two. I took Colorado in 7 because, I don't trust in the Jets. And Jets, I don't really like the Jets, to be honest with you. It's got Scheifele on it, so I don't like them.
I think it's just they were going to go as far as Hellebuck was going to take them.
And that's not very freaking far.
That's a good one.
He's not taking them very far. Matt, who you got? Your hat looks good, Matt. Don't worry. It looks good. You're fine.
No, so when I was first making my bracket, I took Winnipeg, but when I sat back and I looked at both teams, especially on paper, I thought Hellebuck would kind of be an X factor and maybe steal some games, but you look at that Avalanche team, and that's just so stacked from top to bottom. I ended up going with my brain there, and I took Colorado in 6. Now Hellebuck, who's I'll move my head this way, but he's right up above my head right there, the bobblehead. He just hasn't been good. I don't know what happened.
Not good
But
at all.
yeah, and I like I said, I just think up and down Colorado's lineup. I just think there's too much there for Vegas to overcome.
For Vegas?
Next series.
Or
Wait
for
a second.
Winnipeg to overcome.
Yeah, that was a Freudian slip. So in the conference final, when it's Colorado Vegas, he said Colorado's stronger than Vegas.
I
Well,
little
it's a
spoiler,
Freudian
I did
slip.
take Colorado.
It is
in the next round.
Freudian slip. All right, next series.
Next
Vancouver
series, Vancouver
Predators.
in Nashville. Even though I picked Nashville in 7, and I still feel confident this one could hit because of the goaltending that's with Vancouver right now. They have no Thatcher Demko, and I think that's going to show dividends as the
Or
series
Casey
goes on.
Smith. They're both out.
No, they're on their third choice goalie right now.
Archer
Third
still
and
off.
fourth string.
Yeah, so they're on a potential AHL goalie, and Nashville was seconds away from stealing Game 4, even though that kind of feels like a heartbreaking game. I
That
have a
was a
feeling
ball
Nashville.
buster of an ending.
Yeah,
And that
I have a
series
feeling
going back to
Nashville
Vancouver, I
can pull this one out. So I'm sticking with a Nashville in 7, despite them being down 3-1.
Harry.
I had Canucks in 6. I was not expecting an injury to Demko, as nobody was. I will say with Archer Silovs, I believe that with him being very new to the NHL, the Preds don't have a book on him, so they don't really know what his weaknesses are for the most part. I would think that actually does hold. I could see it being Canucks in 5. I think they'll rally around him. I believe they're up 3-1. Yeah, because they came back
3-1,
last
yeah.
game. Yeah, so I think they could end up taking it in 5. I wouldn't be surprised if the Preds win the next game and then it's Vancouver in 6. But yeah, I will say that Archer Silovs, not many people know about him though.
That's a good point.
So I'm keeping my Canucks prediction though.
Cam.
Predators in 7.
Predators in 7.
Yep. I'm gonna go into when we start talking about the teams individually. That's what I'm gonna start doing. I'm just giving you guys my predictions. I think we can.
It'll speed it up, and it's a good idea. It'll speed it up. So I'm gonna say I went Vancouver in 5. I got a chance.
I took Vancouver in 6.
Got a chance.
All right.
All right, next
Edmonton
series.
Kings.
This one I feel like I got the best shot on. I picked Edmonton in 5. I just thought their offense was going to completely overpower them, and they have. For the most part, outside of the last game, was 1-0. Which is
I went Oilers in 6. I thought the Kings might have put up a little more fight. Looks like they're not really going to though. But I expected McDavid to turn it on, and he's kind of done exactly that, unfortunately.
Oilers in 6.
I got him in 5. Oilers in 5 because I didn't have any confidence in LA.
So I actually took
If
LA
you're
in 7.
Loser. There's
LA
always
in
gonna be
7.
one loser in each round. One loser in each round.
My God.
and Nate twice. All right, East bracket. Tampa, Florida. I took Florida in 7, and Tampa's putting up a little bit of a fight right now, so we'll see how that goes.
Mm-hmm.
But I took Florida in 7 in that one.
I had Florida in 4. I had no confidence in Tampa, like you said, Alex. There's a little bit of fight, but
No, you pay your respects to John Cooper and fucking Vasilevsky and Stamkos. Oh my God, you
Cooper's not that
deplorable.
good.
Oh my God, you deplorable.
But yeah, I had Florida in 4.
We are gathered here today to the burial of the Tampa Bay dynasty. May they rest in shit.
Oh my God. Anyway, I had Florida in 7.
Harry, let us know how he
7.
really feels about Tampa.
What do you expect from this?
Yeah, that's right. They ripped your heart out in 20.
Your head coach is from fucking Tampa.
No, he's not.
Well, I don't care. That was
Yeah,
when
he
they were
is. He played in Tampa.
He ain't from there.
I know.
Yeah. He's
Okay, so Cam.
How do you say Louise Quebecois?
Yeah, exactly. Cam.
Where did he play?
In 7.
Tampa and New York.
Thank you.
Yes. I had.
He wasn't born there though.
I got Florida in 7. Just think Florida's going to go all the way. That's really why.
Matt.
Yeah, I took Florida in 7. I thought it'd be a little bit more competitive, but I just think Florida's that good. I think they're the most complete team right now in the playoffs.
Boston, Toronto.
I had Bruins in 7 because it always goes 7. Although I don't know if it's going to this time. I'll say this: Leafs win tomorrow, it'll go 7 again. Leafs, but If not, obviously Bruins win in 5. It's not going to end in 6. It'll either be 5 or 7 Bruins. So I'll say Bruins in 7 still for my bracket, but I don't know how confident I feel.
Harry?
Well, this is embarrassing. I had Toronto in 7.
Get out of here. He's off.
Get the fuck off the show. Get the fuck
I
off the show.
swear to God, I did.
Get
I
the fuck
thought
out of here.
this might have been
Who
the
the
year
fuck
that
are
Toronto.
you?
Breaking
Who
news.
are
Rick
you?
has just
What the-
five.
Here you
Oh
go.
my
He's in
God.
timeout.
Where'd he go? I did nothing.
I put him in
not-
timeout.
Oh, you
That's
put
all
outta
there is.
here.
Bring it back in. Bring it
I
back
got
in.
him. I got him.
Oh, he's
Doing?
gone anyway. He left his chair.
You want the memes to end?
Put him back in.
Oh, there you go.
You're
Hey,
in.
there he is. He's back. You want the memes to end?
No, it's not that. Well, they ended last year with Tampa, but like,
Oh no, they
No,
really
and
didn't. They
that's
really
what it
didn't.
is.
They really didn't.
Fuck
You,
Boston,
cool.
they
You
deserve
beat-
it.
You defeated a depleted team with Ryan O'Reilly as your third line center, and then you got smoked by the 8th seed in the next round. Like you were just as bad as the
You
Bruins.
choked against a 135-point
But
season.
still, there would have been so many memes for the Bruins. Hey, dying dynasty. They
Harry, if you
ruined
ever want to get
Tuukka
some
Rask's
laughs,
career.
watch Urine Eating Trees video on the Bruins choke last year.
Oh, that's fine. That's
Oh,
last
I
year.
think I did. I think I did remember.
See,
that.
I love salty fans, baby, because everyone's so focused on last year. Better people move onward and upward, baby. Look
We'll
where
see.
we
You're
are
gonna
right
win a
now.
series and then
Who
die.
do you have? Who do you
Go
have?
ahead. What
Bobby?
did you
Me?
pick?
What the fuck do you think I have? I had Bruins in 7.
I just wanted the number. I knew who you picked.
Yeah, me too. But I
Like-
took Bruins in 7 because if it's not going to be in 7, and listen, if it's in 5, I'm going to be just as happy. But it's even better in 7.
I think if not tomorrow, it would be in Toronto. They have not won Toronto has not won a home playoff game in 6 straight home playoff games.
And they
Has it
haven't
been
beaten
that
and they
long?
haven't beaten the Bruins in the playoffs since 1959.
Whoop, whoop.
None of us were alive. Like I'm 61. I was not alive the last
Yeah.
time they beat the Bruins.
My mother was 4.
Matt's about to come in with yeah, guys. I had Leafs in 4.
No. Boston in 7.
I think most people thought in 7 because the last 3 times have been in 7.
Yeah.
So we kind of all
Without a
thought
doubt,
that.
but yeah,
But
I mean,
I think it's over tomorrow.
I not only just because fuck Toronto, but just Boston's not a good matchup for him.
No, it's a horrible matchup for them, and I'm happy for it. I'm happy for it.
All right.
Carolina and New York Islanders.
No. We're not doing that one yet. We have to.
Yeah, we are. We're gonna do.
No,
We're
we're
gonna.
going
This is
to-
the
it was
bracket.
one-
we should
Alex,
do the
this is
series that
bracket.
ended just to see how
Alex,
many got
this
it
is the
wrong.
bracket.
Yeah, no, who got it right? No, we got to do it. Okay, who had New York?
I did. No, by the way, for the people who can't see on Spotify, because I got your back, no one
Oh,
else
yeah.
has. There.
I did.
It was
did.
Rick and I that had Rangers.
Wait a minute.
And I
Harry,
had
you
the
went,
5.
you went for chaos
Yeah,
with me?
because you guys are
I
fucking dumb.
did. I said Caps in 7. I did not believe in the New York Rangers, and you know
I
what?
didn't
I
either.
still don't believe.
I
I
picked
still don't
Capitals
believe in
had a
the New York
negative
Rangers.
37 goal differential. You like,
Yeah,
you-
I
exactly.
don't
God.
care. I
No,
thought
exactly.
Ovechkin
I
could
thought
Oh my
help
Rangers
God,
took
you
care
make
of
my
more.
weenie
I
Okay,
hurt.
thought
hey,
that Ovechkin
how
was
many
going to
did you
carry
get?
the team.
How many did you take them in, Cam?
I think I had them in 5. I think I actually had.
I had the Rangers in 5.
Me too.
Yeah,
I had the Rangers.
I'm just confirming right now. Yeah, no, I had them in 5. I thought
had
the
them in
Capitals would have
1.
done something,
One-
but I was
one
incorrect.
one game at home or something. All right, next one.
All right, now Carolina and the Isles. I had Carolina in 5 in this one. This is the one that I thought was going to be the most one-sided series, and it hasn't been that one-sided, but I still think, overall, Carolina's a better team.
I had Carolina in 5 as well. I like the Islanders, but I had no faith in them. They were lucky to win last game in overtime.
Yep.
It's going to be Carolina's series. If they choke this, that's a bigger choke than the Bruins last year.
Moving onward and upward, Carolina in 5.
Me too.
I
Carolina.
learned something. Harry hates the Kings.
I took Carolina in 6.
Oh, me too. No, I hate them a
I
lot.
don't care for him.
Hate them. So I had them in 5 though because that's just logical.
Yeah, I took them in 6. I thought that the Isles goaltending might steal 2 games, but Carolina's going to overpower them regardless.
All right, so that's the first round.
Why don't we actually do this again as the second round enters? Because none of the matchups are set yet.
True. And
The only thing we know is
we've
New York
taken enough
games.
time. and we have taken enough time on it.
Oh,
All
the
right,
fuck
let's
with the
move-
time. People are here for us, dude. We're the fucking show.
Yeah.
All right.
Like, here we are,
Why
right?
don't we
Alex and
start
I
with
are the
Boston,
show.
Toronto?
Harry's
Alex,
fucking
you
guessing
now.
wrong on all these goddamn brackets. He was just
Alex,
deciding to go bold. Buddy, this is what, your 4th year watching fucking hockey? Come on, grow up.
That's my seventh.
Look at
First
this.
of
You
all,
scared him away. You
Alex,
scared him
thank
into
God.
hiding.
That means more talking time for Matt.
All right,
all right,
so
perfect.
Let's move on to the playoff rounds, the playoff series, excuse me. We're in round 1. We've got 8 series. 1 has ended, as we just said. Washington and New York is over. There are how many left now that are
7.
almost?
7.
No, I know. I went to school, you know.
No,
Did?
I don't know. You were really struggling earlier with putting your hands up with how many fucking things were. Like, you know what I mean? Like, God.
How much is 8 minus 1? Hang on, I'll give you a few minutes.
In Rick counting, it's 43.
In my day, that used to be 54. All right. So these all okay? These are 3 series that no.
Those are all the series that are currently down 3-1.
So
Yeah.
they were all that lopsided. Every
All of them
Yeah.
except Dallas and Vegas. Yeah,
They've only
Wow.
played 3 games, so
I
that could
didn't realize.
potentially join this.
I didn't
Yeah.
that could
realize.
actually. Yeah.
It's been a very insane first round for like
Yeah.
for competitiveness, but I'd imagine the second round being
I'm going to be honest,
nuts.
as a whole, this has been an underwhelming first round from an unbiased standpoint.
True.
No.
And so listen, if you're listening on Spotify,
Yeah, I want more overtime.
the teams that are down 3-1.
I don't. Not good for
Tampa,
my heart.
if you guys would shut up. Tampa, Winnipeg, Islanders, Predators, Toronto, and LA. They're all in danger of being eliminated next game. So that's I don't even remember why I brought this up. We're going to talk about the first series that we are going to, it might be the longest one we talk about too. And that is Boston, Toronto, because guaranteed every single one of us here has a lot to say about this series. Who wants to lead off? Cam, you're the Bruins fan. You get the lead off, man.
Toronto has the least. Actually, I'm not gonna say they have the least chance of coming back against the Bruins 3-1. I'm actually gonna give that to the Islanders, but we'll get to that. But I just don't think Toronto has the heart to do it. Their best player in Austin
100%.
Matthews. Their best player in Austin Matthews literally went balls to the wall, grinded out game 2, and it took every ounce of effort for them to win that game. And I think they were gassed. Matthews played 23 minutes and I think 40 seconds to the dot in that game. And I bet you that's why he hasn't done well since. His body is not prepared. His body was not prepared for that level of intensity and the level of hits. It's one of the highest hitting series in a long time. Game 1 was 100 total combined hits.
Wow. That's a lot of hits.
Which is insane. So it's extremely physical, and it's not a style of hockey that I think Toronto is capable of playing. They're going to stick to their game. So I think the Bruins close it out in 5. If not 5, I think they close it out in 6. The hardest thing to do in a series is closing out the series. Anyone will tell you that, unless you're the New York Rangers facing up against the easiest fucking matchup in the goddamn world. The fucking PWHL, no offense to those lovely ladies, but I mean, come on.
Okay, let me ask you this, because you're of the mind that the Leafs are going to win tomorrow. Are you
I
not?
said if not in 5, they would do it in 6.
Okay, but your gut feeling for tomorrow.
My gut feeling?
Yeah.
Well, I'm a superstitious person, so I would lean towards the Bruins, especially with the way they've been playing. And if Austin Matthews isn't playing, that's a huge detriment to them. By the way, some Leafs fans some Leafs fan posted back and like, oh, back in December we played the Pittsburgh Penguins and we beat them 7-0 without Austin Matthews. Yeah, congratulations, you beat the freaking oldest team in the NHL that needs walkers in order to skate. You freaking bum.
Yeah, and that was regular season.
And that was in the regular season.
That's a different animal.
Against a team that was not going to make the playoffs. They were not bound to it. They made one hell of a push at the end, but they were not going to make it. It was because the teams above them kept losing.
And it only cost them that first round pick.
Yep. For Eric Carlson, I thought for sure shit they were going to rob him of it. So you want to know what? No, if Austin Matthews doesn't play tomorrow, I think that's a huge player off the ice. And it's one less player to ring Mitch Marner in from his crybaby antics. And I think Mitch Marner is actually going to be the cause of why they lose. He's going to whine, cry, especially if Boston gets the first goal.
I agree with Cam there. Boston scores first, that game's over.
Yeah,
Toronto needs the first
I don't think
goal
they do
tomorrow.
it.
If Toronto
Also,
has any chance to come back in the series, they have to score first.
I want to say this real quick too.
I agree with
Swayman is way too comfortable in that net.
I will say this.
He's
got their number.
I'll say this.
Way too comfortable in that net if you look how he plays.
I don't know how much I believe this. If Toronto can somehow win Game 5, I think they will push it to 7. That's a big if.
No way.
However, I don't know how confident I am. I think tomorrow's game goes to overtime.
They're frustrated with Swayman, so no, I think
Swayman's in there.
Honestly, though,
he has owned them like friggin' land.
Marshawn was able to do Marshawn things too, and he was able to get under
got their number, man. Considering how much it took out of the Leafs to win Game 2, if they win tomorrow, they're gonna have pretty much nothing left in the tank for Game 6.
If they win tomorrow, I will say this: I think they carry that momentum over. But that's a big if. I don't feel confident that they will win.
I would not be surprised.
In their own barn. They can't win in their own barn, though.
I would not be surprised if the top two lines play like 18 to 20 minutes apiece. I would not be surprised. They're going to lean heavily on the skill guys. Revo's not going to play a lot. That fourth line's not going to play a lot.
Yeah, they say Revo. He's going to start.
Boston's going to be rolling 4 lines. They know they're in control of the series. Brad Marchand's been there before. McAvoy's been there before. A lot of players on that team have been there before to be able to say that we know how to do it. So,
and quite frankly, I if I'm a Bruin, I'm looking at even if we lose at home tomorrow, we're going to win in Toronto. They can't win at home. 9 in a row at home they've lost in the playoffs.
Yep.
So how?
No, they have not. Not at home. They've lost the last 6.
I want to bring up what I think
wasn't it 6, and then they lost the last game. That's 7, so it's 8. If they lose, right, it's 8 in a row that they've lost at home in the playoffs.
Yep.
I want to bring up what I think has been the biggest key in this Bruins-Leafs series is how much the Bruins have dominated special teams. Toronto has scored 1 power play. Was it 1 or 2 power play goals up to this point?
1.
Boston scored, I think, 6 or 7 now. Boston's got like a 40+% on the power play. Toronto's under
43.
I need to bring up immediately as soon as you mentioned that. I am sick and tired of watching and hearing Leafs fans say the refs are against us. You have 1 additional power play than the Bruins do. We are 6 for 13. You are 1 for 14. You are 7% on the power play, which means we are 93% on the kill. We are 46% on the power play, which means you are 54% on the kill, which means you are well below the league average of, I believe, 78% in the regular season for penalty killing. I don't think it's the ref's fault. You can't fucking score on the power play that they give you, and that you can't kill a goddamn penalty kill to save your life because you just can't help yourself but leave lanes wide open for people to snipe pucks right through your goaltender. How about defend your goaltender instead of blaming the zebras as bad as they can be? But at what point do you just say, we just fucking suck?
Yeah. And you got your numbers wrong. 1 in 14 tries is less than 7%. No,
it's 7%. It's rounded. Rounded to whole numbers, it's 46 and 7%.
All right. Seems weird to me. Yeah, no, listen, the Leafs, is anybody surprised?
No.
I guess Harry. No. I guess Harry, because Harry thought that they were going to win. I don't know.
The only thing that surprised me personally is the fact that it might end in 5. Because whenever these two face off, it usually goes 7. I thought that the Leafs would put up a little more of a fight than this. But
now I will say this. If the Bruins do blow this series lead, I quit life. I'm jumping out of my garden level window and hitting the grass.
So now I have 2 things to weigh. Leafs memes, Cam losing his sanity.
My sanity's already gone, but I will not be able to.
I'll say this, Alex.
Leaf memes, him losing his sanity. Now it's making
get it. Stop talking. No, but I think they start Joseph Wool tomorrow. They definitely need to try someone else other than Ilya Samsonov. There's no question in my mind.
Yeah. Harry was going to say something. I want to hear what Harry was going to say about that real quick.
I said, Alex, we've had Leafs memes for 7 years. I think the way in.
It's been longer than that.
Well, more. I need more. I need their tears sustain me. They sustain me.
Yeah, well, I think I wonder, do you think in general Leafs fans are getting a little more realistic about it now that it looks like it's over? Are they going to have that same like devastation, or they're going to handle it a little better?
No, they want. We can touch upon this real quick, and then we'll move on to the other teams. But they're saying blow everything up. Fire Keefe, yes. If you lose in the first round, you need to fire Keefe. Absolutely. Done. There's no question about it. That I agree with 100%. Trade Mitch Marner. First of all, not happening. You can't get. He has a no movement clause. Your core four has a no.
Does he waive? He's got to agree to waive it.
He's got to agree to waive it. They want you to trade. At worst, they want you to trade Jonathan Tavares. At best, they want you to remove the captaincy. I'm more inclined to believe that he is going to have the captaincy stripped of him. You're not going to be able to move him because he's also not going to. He's also not going to get that no movement clause waived. He's not going to want to. There's a reason he went to Toronto. He grew up there. So then you're stuck with those two. And now you just signed William Nylander for $11 million. You're so boned next year in terms of money. How about you got to invest in some defense?
Yeah, definitely.
Have one defenseman, and then I don't know after that.
But
people
listen,
are saying trade Morgan Riley.
Wait a second. Honestly, if they just say bring in some more defense or whatever, if they don't move one of those big guys in front, they're just doing the same thing again. Yep. Like they say every year. Well, we're so close. We're so close. We're gonna keep going. It's
you make a good point talking Habs bubble.
Signing TJ Brody and John Klingberg were the two worst signings that team has ever done.
And which is saying something for how many bad
David Clarkson.
No, that him too. But no, that's where I think they go. But I think the Leafs fans are so quick to just say blow up the team. I'm like, and they blame Dubas too. I'm like, Dubas got you this team. Last year, you guys were a championship contender with Ryan O'Reilly as your third line center. I really don't want to hear enough about freaking Dubas's fault. He got you those guys. They're talented guys. You guys don't fucking deserve your talent. I'm sorry, you don't.
Okay, last question for me on this. What do you guys see that they could really legitimately do that could change the outcome without moving those four guys?
Shanahan's got to go.
I think the upper management.
Shanahan has to go.
Shanahan goes in.
They have to gut management.
Okay.
Alex, Rick, it's not just
year. How is that going to change?
Rick, it's not just.
It's Shanahan's fault for this.
I agree.
Without a doubt, because Dubas was going to move one of the four, probably Mitch Marner, to free up the money to add where the team had to add, and Shanahan fired him because he promised the core four, we're not moving anybody, we're not doing
right.
this.
But you didn't answer my question. Because
until Shanahan's gone, that team's not going to change.
Right. So is there anything that they can do to make this team a championship team without moving one of those four guys?
Yeah, three things. Three things need to happen. Shanahan needs to be fired. Keefe needs to be fired. A new captain needs to be selected. Those three.
You think that's enough, though? You really do think that's enough?
Yes, I think that's actually enough. I think a new voice in the locker room, for a coach. Harry has his hand raised. We'll get to you in a second there, Bumpkin. And then, you need a new voice in the locker room in terms of a coach, and you need a better leadership than Jonathan Tavares because he's not doing it. I bet you Mitch Marner down in between the second and third period of Game 4 for against the Leafs Boston game, but it wasn't enough. You need more out of your captain than that. And honestly, Mitch Marner is an alternate. He needs to be better than that. Remove four things need to happen: new captain, new coach, new management. A off of Marner. Need better leadership on the team.
Harry, your take.
I think there's two things. I think that Tavares, they're gonna run with him as captain until his contract ends after next year.
They can't.
But I think
I've said for years that Morgan Riley should have been the captain of the Maple Leafs, and
he should have been absolutely. I think he will be after Tavares leaves.
I don't know why they get
but I think that they just want to leave him with, hey, we left you as captain, honorability, blah blah blah. I think they're just gonna want him to be treated well.
The gold plated set of
it's been like 7 years of the same shit. Nothing's changed. I mean, heads are gonna. If they lose tomorrow night, Shanahan's gone, Keefe's gone,
Trey Living's gone.
Trey Living's probably gone.
I can't see them getting rid of Trey Living after just the 1 year. They should, but I don't think
Trey Living's a maybe, but Shanahan's got to go. Keefe's got to go.
Yeah.
they got to convince like Mitch
Understand.
Marner to waive his no move clause because they need
Trey
that money
Livingston.
to shore up the defense in front of Joseph Wool. And they got to strip Tavares of the captaincy and give him
It's
more.
Toronto, so all they're going to do, though, probably is fire Keefe.
I think that Shanahan's going to, though. I think they're gonna
Somebody
go-
at Maple Leaf Sports and Entertainment's got to fire Shanahan.
I
It's his
agree,
doing.
but it's
Kyle
Toronto.
Dubas was going to fix it, and they fired him
It's
because
Toronto,
of it. So,
and they're going to try to get one more year out of this group and try again. And if they fire Shanahan, they're admitting that they're.
Harry.
I think
Harry
they're
has
gonna fire
Harry
Keefe.
has a point, and then we'll end with that.
Yeah.
Thank you. I've been trying to talk. But there's two things that I think need to be done. You mentioned one of them, Cam. I think they need to fire Keith. I'm going to say, take more risks. They took a risk on Bobby McMahon, and look at him. He's a great depth guy. He's a great third, fourth liner. They need more risks like that. Take waivers on guys like a Brendan Peary. When Brendan Peary came up for the Golden Knights in their inaugural 2 years, dude played great. Why did they send him down? Because he didn't need waivers. If that's a guy on the Maple Leafs, that is a great middle six option who's worth league minimum. Daniel Sprung is a guy you can take a risk on if he's a free agent. He's a great offensive contributor. Stop going after guys like Tyler Bertuzzi and Max Domi, paying them big money, getting rid of all your cap space for them to hopefully complement the top six, and focus on the bottom line guys who are worth league minimum, but they can end up panning out for you. That is what you need. You look at a team like Tampa, that's what they're able to do.
Sorry,
that's good analysis, though.
I'm going to finish this because I'm going to disagree with Harry. You want them to take the risk? They did. They took one with Mark Giordano. They took one with Ryan O'Reilly. They took one with Bertuzzi. They took one. They took
we
one.
Knew what he was.
Shut up! I'm talking. They took one with Max Domi. They took one with Tyler Bertuzzi. They took one with John Klingberg. They took one with Jake McCabe.
I think what Harry means more, if you want to tighten that up, is calculated risks. Better calculated.
I don't think.
I'm with Harry.
Not just kind of like throw a dart at a board and hoping it. You know what I mean? That's kind of what they've done.
Taking a risk is.
Yeah, but you can take calculated risks and more educated risks than they have, I think.
Exactly. Klingberg was not a risk when it was first signed. It was, okay, they're getting this offensive defense.
All right,
top four.
let's move on to the
Giordano
next
was not
series.
A risk because especially the league minimum. But yeah, we should.
Let's move on to the next series. This one has I think we've pretty much gone top to bottom with this.
I think we can go all night with the Leafs, but that would be redundant.
Yeah. Carolina and the Islanders. This series is currently 3-1 Carolina, and I think where this series really flip-flopped was Game 2. And Isles could be right. This could easily be 2-2 right now if the Isles didn't absolutely defecate all over themselves. And the second half of Game 2, they had a 3-0 lead, blew that 5-3 in regulation somehow. They did survive in double overtime of Game 4. So when we look at this, I think Carolina on paper and just has played a better series as a whole. Carolina's got a better forward core. Carolina's got a better D core. And Sorokin has not been Sorokin when he has played. Varlamov has had the majority of this series, and he's been okay. But Sorokin, just from the beginning of the year to even now, has just not been Sorokin-like. And I think that's definitely something you got to watch when it comes to this, because it was really, at the end of the day, was the Isles' bread and butter and identity going into the year, was how strong their goaltending was. When you don't have that and you can't fall back onto that, when a team has the abundance of talent and depth that Carolina has, both on the forward core and their D core, especially their defense, I think it's the best defense in hockey. You look into that at the end of the day, it really makes you have to find new ways to win that I don't know that the Islanders have the ability to do and make up that type of talent and skill, personally. I do think this series has been closer than the score shows, but that Game 2 is going to be the difference in this. I think Carolina is going to wrap it up tomorrow, but if the Isles can make this 3-2, it would definitely be pressures on Carolina suddenly. The difference really has been goaltending, though, in my opinion. So
neither the New York Islanders or the Washington Capitals belonged in the playoffs. Outside of Carolina and New York, the Metro has been garbage.
Isn't that, though, typical of those last place teams that usually they don't show that they belong? Not always, but
I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that.
There's exceptions.
I can't
remember in 2010, your 8-seeded Canadians and my 7-seed.
I didn't say always. I didn't say always. It's not always, but I said usually. I
I
thought
know.
usually.
No, the third place team in the division normally does a lot better. The wild card spots are always questionable, but hey, look, Florida was a wild card spot last year. It's very, you never know. But I can confidently tell you the Metro division was an absolute horror show this year.
Yeah.
New Jersey fell apart. Washington
Nobody
fell apart.
wanted that third place.
Flyers fell
The-
apart.
Flyers fell
Might
apart.
be.
Pittsburgh imploded. The New York Islanders took advantage of teams that
And
were just losing
Columbus
ahead
is
of them. Columbus is getting launched into the fucking sun.
Columbus is just
Dude.
Columbus. They're just there.
Okay,
I still stand to this point. Nothing good comes out of Ohio, and Columbus is one of them. So, like, you know,
I want to add on to that. I want to add on to that real quick. I want to say people are happy that Arizona's relocating. Why can't we just fucking move the Blue Jackets to Quebec?
I gotta say one thing
Columbus
about
is not a
Columbus. They
hockey
do have a
market.
strong fan base. We crap on that team and the way they're run, but they have a very passionate fan base. I do get Blue Jacket,
But it's a
fans.
very small fan base.
Oh, they usually fill that place up pretty well. I don't think Columbus's issues. I'll be quick on this because we got to really concentrate on the series.
Yeah.
But Columbus's issues pretty much stem from their upper management. They have the worst upper management in hockey now that Chuck Fletcher's been fired and Dave Scott. It's Columbus.
Buffalo.
Well, no, because Buffalo's at least
it's
building
rock
something
fight.
for the future.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. No, I'm sorry. I'm just not. Carolina's there's no surprise to me with how that series is going. Carolina, I'm surprised didn't win in 4. That's it. That's the only thing I'm gonna say.
I think the Isles played them better than the series shows, but the goaltending of the Isles has been what is killing them right now, really, at the end of the day. Outside of game 2, where they put up one shot in the final period and a half, trying to hold a 3-0 lead. Talk about friggin' playing prevent defense. Holy crap. But,
I don't know. I didn't watch
What do the
it.
rest of the Muppets think?
I didn't see any of it. But, I mean, I think it's clear Carolina outmatches them.
Yeah, nothing's really surprised me. But like I said, I thought maybe Varlamov would be good enough to steal another game, but I'm not.
You
not
think
surprised.
with Sorokin, you think it's age catching up to him?
Maybe.
Sorokin's
I mean, he
not
had
Sorokin's not that old.
a few
no, it can't
pretty
be.
good.
He's just had a bad year.
It's the age of the team for
great.
sure.
That I agree with. And you want to look at the Isles,
they're fucked. But like no, the island. But I think they'll have a future in 20 years, so that'll be good to look forward.
There you go, 20 years.
Not bad. I won't see it.
They need to blow that team up and go in full scale rebuild.
You're only salty about the Islanders because they took your third place spot.
No,
Yeah,
we gave it to them. They didn't take anything. We defecated all over ourselves. Let's make it
They
accurate.
gave it to them and they took it. So like you're saying the same thing.
No, because if we played normal hockey, we would have won it. But we went on an 8-game losing streak and forgot how to hockey.
Yeah.
So
they took it from.
All right, let's move on to the next series. The next one we're talking about is Dallas Vegas, which I haven't seen any of it.
Matt, why don't you lead us off on this one, Mr. Vegas fan?
Since you're wearing a Vegas sweater, for sure.
No, I thought right from the get-go this was probably going to be the most competitive series in the playoffs. I think even though Vegas was in a wild card spot, I think they're a lot better than a wild card spot. And like I said, I just think that having a lot of the guys back that were on the Cup team last year, I think gave them an edge. And that's again one of the reasons why I took Vegas to win the series. Logan Thompson's been pretty good in net. So is Ottinger, but yeah, I just think Vegas' experience and I think Vegas' stars are at least so far been playing better than Dallas's. And I don't think Dallas matches up that well against Vegas. I don't think Vegas is a good matchup for him.
Who's next? All right, let's move on to.
No,
I haven't seen any of the series. It's the most boring out of the 8.
I mean, neither. So it's hard to say. Just that I expected Dallas.
I've witnessed some of this series. I've watched a lot of Game 3, and I feel like Dallas completely pants them in pace of play, which is why I still think Dallas can come back in this. The only reason why that game even went to overtime was because Vegas' goaltending was superb. I think Aiden Hill was in net. He friggin' stood on his head. He kept that game even remotely competitive. But if Dallas can replicate what they did in Game 3, I realistically think they have a shot. I personally think you know me, I said it. Dallas all year is going to win the cup. I think they have top to bottom the least amount of weaknesses, is I guess the best way to put it. But they're going to need their big guns like Heiskanen and Robertson, a little bit of Jamie Benn and Sagan from the old days to get involved here. It really comes down to Dallas's stars are going to have to produce. It really comes down to
No
that.
pun intended.
If Sagan had a couple of breakaways in the last game and got stoned on both of them.
But also, it has. I imagine in some of these series where we're getting like a surprise, like this team surprised me. Sometimes it's just a matter of that team got hot or peaked at the right time, and that time sometimes is at the end of the season, but at the playoffs something happens and they're at their best when the playoffs open. And I think some of that is that.
I mean, I'll say when it comes to Vegas, them plopping to that second wild card spot really leaves Dallas battle tested right off the bat. You're facing defending champs against a team that, they didn't have their best regular season. Obviously, they had some injuries that they had to deal with, as we put in quotation marks. But that Vegas has done it before, and this is a true test. I think if this is probably going to be Dallas, if Dallas makes a cup run, in my opinion, this is going to be harder than any of the other two series at least they face in the West, because Colorado's a good team, assuming Colorado advances. But Vegas has done it. Colorado has done it too, but I feel like Vegas just has that it factor. So if you can, Ric Flair once said this: if you want to be the man, you got to beat the man.
Woo. I don't know if you're talking it factor. I feel Colorado's got more of that it factor as a team, in my opinion, anyway.
Colorado's just been sneaky underrated this year, which leads us into that next series, Colorado and Winnipeg.
I'm sorry. Can other people get a word in on the Vegas-Dallas series?
No one else
I was waiting for you to take a fucking breath. Holy crap. And then after that, you'd be like, you like fucking rushed everybody.
I thought Cam left.
I mean, we did have the perfect segue, but I mean, if we want to ruin that.
Shit. Oh my
I know,
God.
right?
I just wanted to say, Vegas is the deeper team. I didn't want to interrupt you, King. You seemed like you were just popping off and you didn't want to just stop talking. And see, he just keeps going. He just keeps going.
Go ahead.
Oh my God. No, I think VGK is the deeper team. I just want to see Dallas do better because Tyler Sagan's on that team and he is an ex-Bruin. So that's about it. And Joe Pavelski. So I just want to see Joe Pavelski do well.
We all love Joe Pavelski. Good point.
Yep. Big tipper. Colorado, Winnipeg.
Colorado, Winnipeg.
This is weirdly enough the series that I've watched, I feel like the most of, aside from Tampa and Florida.
I saw one game.
I have no clue
first
how
two games
Winnipeg
were super competitive.
They were, but like game one, I will say this much: Winnipeg is lucky Georgiev got his bad game out of the way, because this should have been a sweep. If Georgiev has one or two of those goals, this is a Colorado sweep. They're very lucky that Georgiev got one bad game out. Game two, like you said, that was very competitive as well. I believe that one was the 3-2 win for Colorado.
Yep.
But 3 and 4. It has been Colorado. Winnipeg is so undisciplined. They're not playing defense. Genuinely, watching the last two games makes me wonder how the hell Rick Bowness has a job in the NHL and how the hell this team even made the playoffs. This team looks like complete trash. The Avs, I forget if it was Cam or Alex, I mentioned, Avs are just scoring at will. They're just running by the defense, and when they're drawing penalties, they're converting on almost all of the power plays, it feels like. And even when they're not generating tons of exactly that. Cale
Makar is walking around. He's playing forward.
Did you see that goal? He went coast to coast.
What a awesome coast, yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh yeah. Unfortunately, that was one of the few minutes
but
that
no
I
one's
missed
on
during
him.
that fucking goal, so I didn't see it live.
Yeah, but look at them. They're letting him walk in. They're letting him play forward. You can't let a guy like Cale Makar, as versatile as he is, do that to you.
You know how teams have that up and down, like they look great, then they look shitty, then they get back to being great. It looks like Winnipeg, when it came to the playoff time, they went from looking and then they went downhill.
No, but they were consistent all year, though. They were consistently good all year, but then
this was their slump. Every team has a slump. At least one every year. Maybe this is Winnipeg's time.
I think
I said earlier in the video, that Colorado losing 7-0 to Winnipeg was the best thing that could have happened to that team because it lit a fire into their hands.
Oh yeah. I had to.
Best thing that could have happened to them.
But it has to be also, there's a fall off in the play of Winnipeg because they, like Harry said, they didn't look good. Was it game 4?
Game 3 and 4.
Well, the last one, it was yesterday. I watched that game. Yeah, they didn't look good when they needed to. They were down by 2 and then 3 goals. I went away to do some dishes and stuff and figured come back, it'll be closer. Nope, still 4-1, and they didn't look like they were going to score. They just didn't.
And here's the baffling thing to me. The Jets opened the scoring last night in game 4. They had the control. Despite being outshot like 12-2, they had the lead. And it's just, let them come back in it. The Jets
Hellebuck
do not belong here.
Hellebuck
has been garbage in this series. And you know what? Yeah. Aside from 2021 and 2018, this is kind of typical Hellebuck in the playoffs.
He might not be a playoff run.
He is not at all. He's a great. I forget which coach it is. I saw this on Twitter. It's from a head coach. Mark Bergevin actually said it. Now that I'm thinking about it, Mark Bergevin said it. Some players get you to the playoffs. Some people get you through it. Hellebuck is one of those guys that'll get you there. He will not get you through the playoffs.
That's right.
He is a coasting player. And for a Jets team that has not a good defense, I've said this all year, they don't have a good defense. It honestly makes sense that their defense isn't good and their goalie isn't good. Well, in the playoffs, Hellebuck's obviously a good regular season goalie, but it makes sense that they're collapsing now, honestly. It's just weird that it's actually going on.
A team not built for the playoffs. I mean, they say built for the playoffs. That's what the Habs were back in 21. We said it all year, and when the playoffs rolled around, we were proved right that was a team that was built to be better in the playoffs. And listen, the Leafs are like that in the opposite. They're built for the regular season, not built for the playoffs. Obviously, Winnipeg is like that as well, I guess. And then when your goalie craps out on you, and then you haven't got a hope in hell.
Yeah. Game 1, they had to score 7 goals to win that game. You're not going to have that again. Everybody was saying, "Oh, you're lucky getting 6 packs Hellebuck again." You're lucky getting 3 past Georgiev. Like the fact that Georgiev was playing the way people thought Hellebuck would be playing, I think it's hilarious because I got dunked on so much for that take that I said Avs over Jets. I'm moving right.
I've said this many times about goalies, right? Even though we had Carey Price, the best goalie, but you don't need that guy. You need a hot goalie. Exactly. And if your hot, great goalie is cold, you ain't going anywhere.
Nope. Not at all.
And that's what I think is happening there.
Yeah.
Let's move on to Florida, Tampa.
Disappointing. So disappointing. I was expecting such a much more competitive series than what we've gotten so far. Florida was up 3-0 in the series. Tampa comes back and wins one. I'm hoping it goes 7 just because I want to see it. I just those are 2 good teams. You think Tampa would have just died? Oh, well, something happened. I'm guessing Tampa scored.
2-0.
Tampa?
Nope, Florida.
Oh, word. Sorry.
Tampa scoring.
Well, I'm just saying.
You wanted it to go 7 so the Bruins would be more well-rested. Let's be honest.
Yeah, no, I would have. But you want to know what? I think Tampa plays a physical game, so there you go. And I think that's it. No other team in the past, 4 years, has played more hockey than Tampa. They're gassed. They're tired.
Yep.
And you want to know what? It's fine. It's about time. It's okay that they go out in first round. And I think they'd be fine. I don't want to say they'd be fine with it, but I think they would accept it a lot easier.
Yeah.
Knowing the success
that they've won 2 Stanley Cups.
They've had. Last season's players, didn't Florida play a bunch of a few 7-game series?
Yeah, Boston and then Tampa, Toronto at 5. Conference Finals was
they only played
and then
1.
Vegas was 5.
Boston in 7, Toronto in 5, Carolina
in
in 4, and then I think Vegas they lost in 5.
But with Florida, the way they're playing against Tampa, a team I figure I have them as being the cup winner in my bracket, right? A lot of, and I'm not saying this every year, but most seasons, the cup winner kind of does that through their series. 4 or 5 games, maybe 6 on the long one, but they don't do 4 7-game series usually.
I want to mention
it in 2011.
I want to mention
it happens where that does happen, but in general it doesn't. Usually the top teams kind of go through their series in fewer games.
Alex is rolling his eyes as if he didn't get to talk enough of this fucking thing, like with the whole Dallas VGK thing. Go ahead, Alex. You have your hand raised.
I want to mention one thing about one particular player that stands out so damn much when it comes. You can shove that fucking phone right up your ass, Harry. Carter Verhaeghe is awesome. This dude has seeds of Justin Williams in him.
Playoff player.
Leafs legend.
That's a playoff player. Carter
This
Verhaeghe
dude
is
is
a playoff
the
performer.
definition of a clutch player. He had a game-winning goal a few years ago when Florida won the President's Trophy. I think it was against Washington in Game 6 in overtime to win that series. He stuck the final stake in the heart of the Bruins last year in Game 7 of overtime. He had another game-winning goal in overtime this series.
He's a big game player. Some guys are big.
He's got
game
another
players,
goal tonight in an
and
elimination
that's him.
game. I think
Yeah.
he had an elimination goal against Toronto, too, if I remember correctly. Don't
Yep.
quote me on that last one.
Could be.
This guy comes out and scores big-time goals again and again and again. You are seeing the rebirth of Justin Williams and Carter Verhaeghe if this dude ends up winning a cup, and Tampa just made it 2-1. Right on cue.
I agree with that about Carter Verhaeghe.
Yeah, I've loved Carter Verhaeghe since, from what I've seen, that first year he had in Tampa. I've loved him since that.
You got Reinhardt there, who's having like a career year.
Yeah,
there's some real talent. Florida looks maybe unbeatable this year.
I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
Does Reinhardt re-sign with Florida? Is one.
I don't know. There's a rumor Montreal's going to go after him.
This guy, I feel like he's a guy that has this career here and then starts going a bit on the decline almost instantly.
How old
someone's
is he?
going to regret
28,
that.
27, 28.
Yeah, you got to be careful at that age.
Yeah, so someone's going to pay him. He's going to get 10+ mil. Deserving.
He's going to get his money. I think.
But that could be a contract someone regrets pretty quickly too.
I will say though, I want to say this much. Reinhardt's a guy who you look at his trajectory in Buffalo and then in Florida. He starts his career with back-to-back 40-point seasons, 50 as a 65, 50 in the lockout season or the COVID season. And then in the bubble, 40 points. That's on pace for like 65. Point per game. Last year, not great. Good playoffs. And then this year, he takes that next step. This is a guy who I think can be a 40-goal year. Yeah, he's going to get
10 million, nothing more.
Oh, he absolutely is getting 10 million.
He's not going to get anything more than that, though. Anything more than that, he's overpaid.
I won't be surprised, though, to see him be a 40-80 kind of guy. Might have another 50-goal year, depending if he's on a team's first or second line. If Montreal gets him, he's a second-line guy. But I won't be surprised to see him be a reliable guy, if not slightly overpaid.
Oh, you can't pay a second-line center $10 million. Where are you, the Toronto Maple Leafs? You cannot do it. It's a waste.
I think whoever signs him is signing him as a 1C. Whoever does
can't do that. That's ridiculous, man. Like,
it ain't gonna be my team. That's all I know. But I look at the Reinhardt contract, and this isn't the same exact type of player. Before I say this, but it kind of feels like a similar trajectory and type of breakout year, leading to get paid and then take that bit of a fall off. It kind of reminds me of Nassim Kadri a little bit. Remember when he went banana land in Colorado, got paid with Calgary. And then he's kind of been.
No, that's a product of Calgary, not a product of him.
But he was never that good to be paid what he got paid, is my point. He did that one year, exploded.
He got $8 million. It's fine for him.
I think he got like 8 or 9. I don't remember what his contract was.
Yeah, I think he's 8.
I think it reminds me of it. Now, don't get me wrong. I think Reinhardt's a great player. I would have loved to trade for him instead of freaking risk the line. But I don't know if. It just feels like someone that you can regret in the long term. Who's having a phenomenal year this year.
But when you say in the long term, with the cap going up, he's 28, so you figure you got for sure 4 good years out of that contract.
I don't even know if you're going to get that.
It goes back to my Kotkaniemi argument, but again, you're not going to pay your second line center $10 million. You just don't do it.
That depends on the team, their cap situation. I mean, it depends on a few things, I think. With the cap going up, that might be less of a thing. If you're in good cap situation now, cap going up, you could probably do that.
Yeah, but you're going to need to end up paying your defenseman. You're going to end up needing to pay Slavkovsky. Cole Caulfield's
I'm
going
not
to
just
still
talking
want
about
extended
Montreal. I'm
Suzuki.
talking about.
No, I know, but I'm
any
using you
team
guys
that-
as an example. You guys can't do it.
But it's
It
the
doesn't make
same.
sense.
It's the same on every team. But no, I think you could work that. I mean, I think you get at least 4 good years, maybe 5 good years from him.
Yeah.
And then in that time, with the cap going up like that, it won't matter. It's probably okay.
Oh, at 10 million, no, at 10 million, you'll still feel that. 10 million's
Not
10
when the
million's
cap's
high.
up that probably not as bad.
You're assuming it's going to go up 5 million each year. It's going to go up 4, and I think it's going to go up 1, 4. It's not going to go up that much. And you also need to take into account the players are also going to want more money with that. So that 10 million value is still going to be felt. It's going to be the 6 million contracts
let's say
that
this,
aren't going to be.
pretty much in any UFA you're going to sign, there is some amount of risk because he's 27 or 28. Right? In general, UFAs, that's their age, right?
Yep.
So there's some risk anyway. At least this guy looks like he might be worth that risk.
Yep. But just to kind of go back on the point, I was just deeply depressed with the way this series went. I thought it was going to be more competitive. I thought it was going to be fun to watch. Yeah. Because Montreal thinks that they were going to get him for like 10 million for a second line center, which is crazy with what your team needs.
Vancouver, Nashville.
Oh, we're gonna move on. Okay.
Yes, we were on this one for a while. Vancouver, Nashville.
Fine. Vancouver, Nashville. I watched that game yesterday. I went out again to do something in the kitchen for like 10, 15 minutes, come back and went from 3-1 and they're in overtime. And I go, how the fuck did that happen?
Brock Boeser had.
I know Besser had one hell of a fucking game, didn't he?
It's 2 goals in the final 3 minutes, I think it was, including one in the final 6 seconds.
Yeah.
And listen, I don't think Nashville, for being down 3-1, has played a bad series, but Vancouver's been opportunists.
They're not there yet.
They're another team that was benefiting from hot goaltending, hot defense, and just a team that was putting it together at the very end. But I think ultimately they were not prepared for the playoffs, like Rick was going to say.
I do think
exactly.
I still think they have a shot just because of the situation that have Vancouver's goaltending. I do. I don't know if they're going to pull it off. It's going to be hard, especially with a heartbreaking loss like the one they just had. But it's I think you showed that picture of the 6 teams down 3-1. Which one has the best shot to come back?
I heard Demko should be back for the second round if they make it.
If they make, which they good chance they do. But.
Right. So they just they got to win one more game.
Yeah.
It's probably not unlikely they're going to win.
It's likely they end up pulling it off. I agree.
So they're probably okay. But I saw the last game. What do I have to say about that? I don't know. Vancouver looked pretty good. I didn't think they'd come back though. I mean, I should say the Preds looked like they were I thought the Preds would pull that off. I was totally shocked that Vancouver came back in that game.
I was rooting for it. I was rooting for the Preds to do it, but
obviously because you picked the
Philip
Preds.
Forsberg is a rock star. Let me say that because he has been their best player in that series, bar none. And lose it. Roman Josi got hurt, I think, in that game last night.
2 guys. No, wasn't it 2 guys? 2 of their defensemen near the end both looked like they got hurt really bad. But Josi
got hurt
back.
early.
He was back right away, though. He was back. I saw him out there. I'm pretty sure it was Josi. Yeah, Josi, number 59, no?
Yes, that's Yoshi's number.
Yeah, he was out there for the last 2 minutes of the play. Solid. He was out there the whole 2 minutes.
Edmonton, LA.
And in overtime, whatever. It didn't take long in overtime. It was 62 seconds in overtime.
Yeah. I will say, though, real quick before we move on. Do you guys want my impression of what the series has been so far?
Don't stand up and take a poop.
Yeah, no, legit. It's been
I don't know if I'll go that level, but for me, it's just been meh.
What, the playoffs in general? Or
yeah.
I kind of see that.
Like, what do you think has been, before we move on, as a whole, what do you think's been the most exciting series?
I think
Florida,
hold
Tampa, weirdly enough.
question until the end, because then why don't we get through the teams and then
All right, let's do the
reevaluate
next one because
that.
we know Washington and the Rangers wasn't the most exciting.
So let's get into Edmonton, LA.
Snooze fest.
And that LA was going to put up more of a fight. You know, I thought that 1-3-1 zone was going to be a little more effective, but I was proven wrong. I mean, I don't know. I still think LA might be able to pull out a game or two, make it interesting, but
I don't know. I saw a couple of periods of one of the games, I think. Yeah, it's not the most. I think Edmonton rolls over it. What, one more game, right? If they win in 5? Yeah, I think they're. Yeah.
It's 3-1 Edmonton right now.
LA doesn't look like they're going to win.
Who would have thought that Edmonton's goaltending would come to play in this series, huh?
It's against a team that has struggled late in the second half of the.
Right. Don't look for it.
I'm not surprised.
I wouldn't be surprised second round if that goaltending doesn't look as good.
I know it probably won't, but like they've only allowed 1 goal in the last 2 games. It's been solid.
Again, not surprising to a team that was hot on the start, but then cooled off. And then Drew Doughty said it himself that he was calling players out for being too concerned with themselves.
I remember us talking about that, like the 2/3 mark of the year. LA was just on free fall.
I don't think we need to get into that, but like that's just an example of what has carried over, and it's clearly done so.
Has LA really hit that base that they were in that first third of the season where they were just cruising through the West? And now they
haven't
next year. Next year.
Haven't since then. One question: how much of this do you think you could realistically say is Pierre-Luc Dubois' fault?
I think it's a lot more than that. I think it's more than that. I think it's Quentin Byfield. I think it's a lot of them.
The Kings' big names aren't doing it.
Hans Kopitar and Doughty they're trying to wrap in that locker room, but I think a lot of that team's ego is coming from their youth.
Yep. It's a mix of several things. Like you said, the veterans aren't stepping up. Their young kids are still inexperienced in the playoffs. It doesn't help they've matched with the two of the greatest players in the world 3 straight years in the playoffs. And also the fact that just Cam Talbot started off hot and he's really cooled off, and he got so bad to the point they started David Riddick last night, who wasn't terrible, but I mean, you can't be going with Dave Riddick as your starting goalie in the playoffs.
No, that's not. You're not going to get anywhere. All right, let's move on to the last one. Rangers, Washington, that ended last night.
Not even commenting.
Before we go over this, I just want to take a book out of Harry's take a page out of Harry's book of my description of that series.
God! Oh no!
Oh no!
Wait, the camera tilted downwards. Oh no!
Quick, before he wakes up, everyone get your thoughts in.
All right, Matt Rampage. That's my thoughts.
Yeah, I think it's not even much to talk about. It was a horrible. I saw a game and a couple of periods of that, and it was nothing to write home about.
Lindgren lost his mojo, and Alex Ovechkin getting 0 points in a playoff series, and TJ Oshie looking like he's hitting the end of the road.
And
Ovi, the writing was on the wall.
And Ovi looking slow and maybe even a little uninterested in the last game. And that's the segue into overtime, because I've got an Ovi question. So we're gonna head.
Before we do that, didn't we want
to
adjust and say like what has been the most exciting series for people so far?
I agree.
Oh, well, that screws my segue. Okay, go ahead.
People, we gotta be better at remembering things here, guys.
For most exciting series, just say Rangers and Caps, and you can segue.
I didn't know about this, but let's go.
All right, well, we'll save the most boring for last, I guess. I'll start with the most exciting. It's actually been the Boston-Toronto series. If you guys actually watch the games, high hitting, high competitiveness, fast pace, what I would expect playoff hockey to be. That's easy been the most fun. Second is Dallas, VGK for me.
I haven't seen any of it.
I agree, 100%.
But I was with Matt watching Game 4. Yep, back and forth, constant up and down the ice, hitting, shots on goal, blocks. It was crazy. Like
Samsonov not knowing where his posts are.
Yeah, Samsonov not knowing where the posts are. JVR nutmegging the guy. It was hilarious. But no, it's been a crazy series, and VGK and Dallas is the next one for me. And then obviously the last one is the Rangers.
You guys might be surprised at my answer. I'm going to say Carolina and the Isles, believe it or not. When you look at this series in the Cosmos, you had a 3-goal comeback in Game 2. That was a hilarious choke job, but still a very improbable comeback in Game 2. Game 3 was a very competitive, close game. Carolina only won by a goal. Game 4 went to double overtime, back and forth. I actually was tuning into that game, and it was pretty back and forth overtime. I think the Isles had a little bit better play in that first OT before winning it. Outside of Game 1, that series has been pretty damn entertaining top to bottom. Even though I like to shit on the Isles just to troll them, I don't actually hate the Isles. I just like to bust crap at them. But that series has been good. Carolina's just been a step better, but it has not been an unentertaining series. I'd put 2 as Boston, Toronto as well, and then probably Vegas and Dallas at 3. But that Carolina Isles series is not getting enough love in my opinion.
I haven't seen that. Of the series that I've seen, it's definitely Boston, Toronto. But I'm
only seen
probably
one series.
no. I know I've watched a few of the series, some games, but I'm probably too biased anyway, and I don't care how good the other series would be. I'd still say that probably. So there you go. And Matt's asleep, so
Yep. And Harry's not talking. We started giving them an inch. They're not taking it.
No, I already said what I had to say on this. I agree with Cam. I think it's Boston, Toronto's definitely been the most exciting to watch. Vegas and Dallas has been very fun to watch. I've watched some of Colorado and Winnipeg.
Snooze fest.
I mean,
Too many walkaway games.
There's
Carolina
one game
and the Isles.
that was competitive until like the latter half of the second period. Then Colorado broke it the fuck open.
It's just
And
here's the
didn't
thing
look
with the
back.
Carolina series with me, Alex. Sorry to interrupt you, Matt, but it's just it's not what I expected that. I expected them like Carolina to actually win them. I expected
did too.
I didn't expect New York to hold a 3-goal lead. Not with that level of talent on Carolina. None of what they're doing is exceeding my expectations, right? But the Boston Toronto series, the Game 1 hit totals were 100 hits. Shot totals were like didn't start going crazy until late in the second and third periods. Like the team defense and the smart level of hockey that they play is just crazy. That's why I'm saying that's the most exciting.
And hey, we're entitled to our own opinions. I just think from a storyline, not a storyline perspective, but for a game-by-game perspective and what you've seen through the storyline of each game, I think Carolina and the Isles has been an entertaining series. None of them have been otherworldly good, but those 3 that I mentioned have probably been the best. And I think it's pretty obvious what the worst is. Rangers got pretty much a free go collect $200 for passing go slip when they got fucking Washington.
Harry, your thoughts?
I know this is probably going to seem like a weird pick, but I'm going to go Florida and Tampa. I think that series has been the most exciting. It's been, I believe, the most physical. Seeing the Empire die the way it is, I think it's amazing. I think seeing Carter Verhaeghe, as we've sucked him off most of this podcast, being as good as he has been, I think it's great seeing that. Matthew Tkachuk, I love seeing how much Nick Cousins gets under the skin of NHL fans as a Nick Cousins fan, former Montreal Canadian, of course.
Hate him.
I love Nick Cousins. I love that he's turning into Brad Marchand 2.0. 'Cause you gotta love having a villain in the NHL, and I love that he's staying in the Atlantic. Again, it's a hard hitting series. Even with Tampa winning last game, not seeing much of it, unfortunately. It's been a great physical series. This is what playoff hockey is, even if the series isn't necessarily as close as we thought it would be. I'm loving this series, and of course, the most disappointing or the most boring is Rangers Capitals. But special shout out to Colorado Winnipeg post Game 1.
That is former Flyer Nick Cousins to you.
Oh yeah, he was a former Flyer.
That's where
That's where he got the assholeness from.
Hey, we breed them like butter.
All right, can we talk about overtime now?
Yes, Dad.
Are we done? I know. Are we done with that?
Yes.
Okay, so we're going to move on to the overtime portion. So since they interrupted my segue, I'm going to go with my original first one. And for that, I bring up this. Austin Matthews. This is the Sheldon Keefe's excuse for Austin Matthews. For whatever reason, it's not one of those run-of-the-mill everyday type of illnesses that sort of come and go This one has lingered. The effects have lingered and gotten worse when he gets on the ice and is asserting himself. That's the excuse for why Austin Matthews left Game 4 in the third period. So my question is this. Do you believe the excuse given for Austin Matthews leaving Game 4?
No. What was the excuse? That it was food poisoning, right?
No, it's something that's been lingering all year, apparently.
Yeah.
This mysterious illness. So
Oh.
I'm with Harry. No, I don't believe it. I don't believe
Hold
it.
on.
Does he
I'm
have
gonna.
mono?
What?
Does maybe he have mono? That's the only thing I could think of. That
Somebody said that on
He had
Twitter.
mono, he wouldn't be with the team.
But somebody
Yeah.
said something about mono on Twitter.
all year.
No,
Hold on. I'm going to bring up a point. Jonathan Taze. That guy has had post-COVID, whatever the hell they call it, and it has
COVID.
severely,
Long COVID. Did Matthews have COVID?
We don't know that. We're not
We
privy
know.
to that health information, and I
Yes,
don't really care.
It's supposed to come out unless it was in the off season.
But what I will say is that I'm not gonna discredit the team doctors because it was a medical professional who pulled him. It was not on Matthews' accord. It was not the coach. It was a medical professional that said you need to stop.
Yeah, because there's no corruption in the NHL that we could
Hold
think
on,
that
Rick.
they
Harry's
maybe-
got a thought.
Austin Matthews did have COVID back in 2022. I don't know if that could linger this much, but he did have it. We do know.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm honestly, I'm going to refrain from giving a real thought on this until we know more of what it is, because I don't want to necessarily say, oh, he's bullshitting, and then we find out it's something that was actually severe. So I'm going to say no comment on this.
The
It's a
guy
good
played 23
point.
minutes in
It's
game 2.
It's a good point, but I'm just saying the explanation, as I've been reading all day, whatever, is really fishy and vague.
It could be HIPAA rights, too, that he just doesn't want
Yeah,
that
they're
revealed.
not. Yeah, it changed a long time ago in the NHL that they're not allowed to disclose any specific injury.
That's why they go
During-
upper
yeah.
and lower body with everything.
Yeah,
I want to
they
know.
no
Well, then they
longer
would say
are
it's an
allowed
upper body or
specifics.
lower body. It's an illness.
But
Yes,
even
that's
then,
all they're
it
allowed
could
to
be a HIPAA
say. It's
violation.
privacy. Yeah,
Okay, but I'm asking. My question is still: do you think it's an excuse or it's valid?
I think
Mine's
it's
just
valid.
I'm going to say this: it's fishy.
Why? Who else are they going to? It's not like Vegas. They don't have anyone to call up. It's at their own detriment that Matthews doesn't play.
That's not okay, but I get that. I'm calling him up. I'm saying if I'm proven right, I'm saying it's what you said early about they got nothing here. He's a pussy. Going got tough. Austin Matthews got going the other way. That's what I think.
I think Austin Matthews has 4 points.
I'm just
I think
saying
it's a
what
point
I'm
per
saying.
game. I'm gonna be hard pressed to say the guy didn't win you game 2.
I'm
And I
just
think
saying what I'm
something
saying.
might have happened to him. I genuinely hope the guy's fine.
I
think
don't
it's
wish
real.
him to be like something really bad happened to him, but I'm just saying I don't believe it right now.
And he was also not at practice one of the other days before I think game 3 or 4. So they claimed it was a maintenance day. So maybe the illness was post game 2 after he played 23 minutes. 23 minutes is a long time for a forward that is pushing and pushing and pushing. Then it's not like when you're talking to defensemen, a lot of times the defensemen are just standing at the blue line. And I don't want to say that they're not moving, but they're not moving to the degree of which a forward is.
I've played hockey. I understand.
So I think that exertion will hurt you, especially if your body's not prepared for it after playing 81 games.
Just saying. That's my thought. Anybody else? Or we move on to the next one and people stop looking at me like I'm a monster. Next up.
Monster.
Next up. Thoughts on Alex Ovechkin having no points in the series versus the Rangers and looking sluggish and slow. Does he still pass Gretzky? And by how much does he miss or pass him by?
The guy's got
absolutely.
He's going to pass Gretzky. The guy just needs to score 2 22-goal seasons. That's fucking milk to hit. Like, that's nothing to him.
And like I get that he's getting
He's
older,
got 2
but
years
like,
left, I think. So yes.
Yeah, he's gonna be. Even if he doesn't in the next 2 years, he's gonna sign the cheapo deal, go to a team until he gets it, and then he's retiring. Yeah, he's
hold
gonna
on a
do it.
minute. He did say this will be his last contract. I don't agree with that last.
Oh, but yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, no, I agree with
I mean,
Cat.
he has
If he
said it
hasn't hit
basically
it,
that
he's
he's
chasing
retiring
it.
after
Yeah.
his deal.
He's gonna chase it.
He's retiring after even if he's 75.
If he
I
needs
think-
2 goals at the end of that contract, he's going to sign a 1-year deal at the cheap deal. And then
Yeah.
the next thing you know, after he scores those 2 goals, 3 goals, whatever, he's going to be like, oh, I'm injured. Maybe not like to that degree, but he's definitely going to go fucking chase that depending on how close he is. And he knows he's going to get it.
Is so badly worn. I know it's crazy to think what I'm thinking right now, but he did say that it's his last contract. So we'll see.
Yeah, and he's not going to another team. He's not going.
Yeah, how many times did Teemu Solani say that?
Not the same player. It doesn't
Teemu
absolutely
Solani is not
similar.
Alex Ovechkin.
He's not. He's not as good, but Teemu Solani still kept coming back. And if Ovechkin is the player of the
we're comparing apples to oranges because it's two different people.
not necessarily, I wouldn't say that.
But
I would, because Teemu had some down years and then pivoted. Ovi has consistently been at the top and is just slowly starting to come down now.
you don't
Okay,
need
very
to
different
promote your
situation.
chips,
But he
Harry.
was-
You're going to be eating
I
them.
think it's devotion to the
Well,
game,
he
which they
was
both have
horrible.
equal.
He was
promote the Harry
horrible.
Rice chips.
He was horrible in this series. Like he looked.
He has
Old.
nothing.
Yeah,
But he has
now
nothing.
everything's normal again. All right.
He
No,
has
in all
nothing.
seriousness, though, do I think he breaks the record? Yes. The only way he does it is if he has a major injury, which I'm not wishing, and I hope he ends up staying healthy.
No, definitely not.
Okay, but by how much? Because at some point we
We'll
thought,
say
he's
15.
probably going to do by a decent amount.
I think he does it by 15. I think he ends up with 909 goals is my exact number I'll put on it. I will say this. You witnessed the last playoff game Alex Andrew Ovechkin will ever play.
That might be the case. That I would say. You would be right to say that, I think, unless he goes to another team. But I think
He's
will
not going.
retire at
He
Capital.
won't go
No,
to
he's
another.
retiring at Capital. It's more
No.
likely Crosby goes to another team than Ovechkin.
I
Right.
knew.
Because
I don't think
Ovechkin's already said it. He's not playing for another team.
Yeah.
He's already said that a couple years ago. Anybody else want to chip in there?
Naughty. Have you ever thought?
No, I didn't really watch a lot of the Capitals Rangers series, so I
That's not our question.
He doesn't pay attention.
No, I've said that I think Ovi will break Gretzky's record, and I think that's as soon as he
Yeah,
breaks
but
that, I think he's retired.
That's all out the window because you haven't seen how slow and sluggish and bad he
It
looks.
doesn't matter. He was like that during the regular season too. Still scored 30.
Yeah, he got hot at the last 20, 30 games.
I
And you're
know
going
it.
to tell me a guy at his shooting talent, all he has to do is stand still.
Yeah,
But
no one
next
covers him
season's
pretty much
another
after
season.
20 years.
Next season's another season, and at Ovi's age, sometimes there's a big drop off in between seasons. If he's at the end, could be a big drop off next year.
His shot's not going to change.
That was my point. No, but that
Feed
was
him.
my point. That's all. That was my point. That's the reason I asked this. So don't come down on me, okay?
Don't be grumpy.
Okay.
Come on.
All right. I guess we're
Yeah,
at the end of
grumpy.
He's
this.
old. What do you
Well,
expect
yeah,
him
we're
to do, Cam?
going to take you to go get ice cream. Come on.
Thank you. I like ice
Let's
cream.
go. Yeah,
I
we'll
love
go.
ice cream. Okay, we're at the end. Who's taking us out?
That's it.
I
We
took
didn't
one.
have a picture we wanted to address.
Oh, are we going to address that? Oh, you know what?
Yeah, I think
You
we
We
should.
should.
want to. I think it's hilarious.
Nobody
Freaking
watches
people-
till the end, so we're probably safest now.
Oh,
All right.
All right. So if you
Yes.
are watching still, we'd like your opinion on what you think of this very controversial meme that came out. I only saw it today. I imagine it came out today. And
No, it's
here-
been circulating.
so we'd like
I'm
to know.
sorry. I don't understand the controversy behind it. Like, it's people are just posting this photo, and people are saying this is disgusting. Like, what are you talking about? You're taking so many things out of context out of this. And what people don't know is that white bear is exactly from a picture that Toronto had posted to intimidate the Bruin. So this meme is a result of that photo saying like, oh, you tried to intimidate us? That's what happens. You people look fucking way too far into this shit.
Overly woke. I mean, if you look at this,
It's
and
an
see
AI.
two bears,
Ridiculous.
It's
if
whatever.
you look at this and see two bears, and you see that, and then you go right away to the Me Too movement and the stuff.
Oh,
that
I don't want to
happened
bring that up. I'll just simply
No,
say this.
But that's what's been happening. And if you do that, I think there's something wrong. If you can't look at that and see it for what it is.
I hate to tell people out there, but go spend some time in nature. That's exactly what you're going to see. If you
Kind of.
ever see
I
two
don't
bears
know.
mating, it's
Do
not
brown
exactly like.
Talking
I'm
about,
sorry.
is it right?
Do grizzlies and polar bears have sex?
No,
often?
no, but like you know
That
what I'm
would be
saying,
one
like.
giant
But you'll see the
scorpion
bears
thing.
fucking. You might not see the interspecies, but you'll see them.
And who's saying that they're having sex? Maybe he's just wrestling.
Maybe he's just
Why do
peeing
you
on
have
it.
to?
Maybe
Why
he's
does
digging
your
his claws
mind
into the
need to go
side.
there?
If those two bears had cubs, would they be like 10?
Oh my God, Rick.
Just wondering.
Half and half.
God, no. Here's what I'm saying. Why does your mind need to immediately go that bear is doing inexplicable things to that other bear? Why can't
I
it
think
just
it's
be
that's
like
obvious.
they
I
wrestle?
think it's obvious.
I mean,
I think it's
obvious.
obvious.
We
It's
already know
highly
what it's
provocative
capable
and it's
of.
highly suggestive. But again, it just
I think
speaks
the
to the
tear-
mindset of
I think
players.
the
Cam,
tear coming out of the
Cam,
white.
Come on.
I'll
Listen,
simply say
listen.
this on
I'm also just trying to throw it back here.
I said this on Twitter. I'll say it here too. This is just an AI picture of how much Boston has owned Toronto, and it's a friggin'
Yeah.
picture to show it.
Yeah.
No,
People are screaming it shows sexual assault.
It's a product.
Yep.
It's a product of
meme.
Leafs
Let
fans.
it go. Stop being soft.
It's a
No.
product of Leafs fans' braggadocio that has to even be there, because if they didn't brag so much, then maybe nobody would put that up there.
Now listen. I will say this. Is it age appropriate for people under the age of 18? No, it absolutely not. But
Under the age of 18?
go look at what.
No, it's 2024. It's under the age of 8.
shit.
Anybody over the age of 8 already sees
I mean,
stuff
on the
like
internet, basically.
yeah, you're
Yeah.
kind of, but it's meant for people under.
Yes.
Sorry, not under, over the age of 18.
geez, yeah.
But
Yeah.
worse things, far worse things, this NHL playoffs have been actually said and chanted upon in stadiums. We had Carolina, not Carolina. We had Washington fans chanting 9/11 to the New York Rangers.
Yeah,
That is
that's
unacceptable.
disgusting.
That was a real event that happened, not some AI bear giving it to the Leafs. I'm sorry. If you're offended by an AI
Cartoon.
bear
A
bediddling another AI bear, don't watch porn. I don't know what to tell you. Like,
I will say this.
I don't watch bear porn.
Avoid it.
Yeah.
I don't know, pogs, dude. But then if you're just like, oh, with the 9/11 chance, blah 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 blah, then you got something fucked up in your head. All right, that's all I'm gonna say. You fucking piece of shit.
I want to add a couple things. So one, I want to add on to your point of if it's an AI bear doing another AI bear. Don't be like Chris Chan. These bears don't have feelings. They are fake drawings made by AI.
It represents everything I stand for. The Leafs.
and for those who don't know who Chris Chan is, look him up. You'll find it. And yes, I'm calling him instead of her. Get over it. But another thing I wanted to address about this. It's something that I forget who said it. It's someone that's on YouTube and makes offensive content, or used to. Either all of it's okay or none of it's okay. You can either be able to joke about rape and all of this, or you can't joke about anything. Because you can either be able to joke about sexual assault or any of this stuff, or you can't joke about anything, because who knows what could be offensive to someone.
It's not a joke about sexual assault, though. That's the whole thing. That's what it's being.
No,
made out
but
like.
it's involving it.
But
It's involving
not.
it. That's why they're
that's the mindset people are looking at.
The overly woke mindset.
Everyone's looking at like, oh, look at what that bear's doing to the other bear, not like looking like, oh, this is a pictorial representation of what the Bruins have done to the Leafs over the
it's more
decade.
like
it's ridiculous.
More like people are going, I'm a shitty person, but look what I can make myself virtuous over on, so people think I'm a good person by saying something about this. And that's what
exactly.
It's
for me, and it's funny. It's like I'm pretty sure that this dude said something about it, but Leaf Sting.
The same
Leaf Sting is trying to grandstand and immortalize, like, oh, this is bad, but me mentioning 9/11 and terrorism, that's fine.
The same people that are saying that this is an abomination are the same people that are saying Matt Rempe did nothing wrong.
Right.
Like, they're also the same people
protesting for Palestine as well.
Oh yeah,
I could put that in.
Oh yeah,
same people.
That's not. Nope, we're not addressing that. We're not.
I'm just saying
we're not going anywhere.
People. It's a good thing it was at the end of the show, eh?
Yeah, good. You can cut that part out. Seriously, cut that part out. Anyway, Anyone else have any other thoughts on that? A beautiful work of art that I'm going to print out and post on my wall. I'm going to do? I'm going to have this as my fucking background. Send that to me, and I'm going to piss everybody off just to prove a point, just to be that douchebag that just kind of says there, I'm like, this is what really offends you, an AI bear. Well, I don't know what to tell you. Right, Matt?
Yeah.
Matt's a bear. He can growl like one.
I'm bored.
So, anyway, if no one else has any other thoughts, that's going to do it for tonight's Pucking Around podcast. Join us next time as we hope to see you guys there. We might do a live show. We might give away more prizes. Who knows? Rick might have more senior moments. Harry and I might fight more. Who gives a shit? He has Heavy Rice Chips. He's the sponsor. Alex is balding. We love that. And that's a Cheaters fan. how is that for a quick roundup?
Hair off in your sleep.
Go ahead. Do it.
Give you a bohawk.
Go ahead, I'll tickle your nipples. All right, let's get out of here, Rick. Come on, Grandpa.
All right. Ciao, everybody. It's time for the Habnormals podcast.